coffee. I'm having my water right here with the probiotics added in,
Okay.
and then I had the green juice.
Green juice. What time we going, Felicia?
So
21?
I'm pretty much ready to go, and
I ain't gonna be able to get everybody in there. It's okay. 21.
You're the main attraction. You just gotta get you. To put this on silence. Is everybody's phones on silence?
Yes.
yes, it is. It's gonna be a good time, y'all.
Y'all ready? Ruby. Miss Kenya is tuned in, y'all. 3, 2, 1. You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show with Kenya Asa, your man, Cat Fitness, and our guest host for today, Darren from Financial State of Minds. So, Darren.
Yes.
This might be your episode to shine. Like, we have the world famous.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord. The world famous.
We got a big one for y'all.
Yeah. We have one of the, to be very honest, one of my favorite, one of the top real estate agents in the Bay Area, Miss Nia Williams. How you doing today, Miss Nia?
I'm good, Mario.
Welcome.
Oh, are you calling my government my government name?
I never call you Cat.
Hey, well, today is a new day. Today's a new day on the episode. But man, this has almost been like 2 years since we last had you on air with us.
Yeah.
Like a lot has changed.
A lot.
Yeah. You're doing a lot with the real estate game.
I'm in love with it.
Yeah.
I can't lie.
Yeah.
It's taught me so much.
But you also have a couple of additions to your own personal family as well.
I had babies.
I know, since the last time.
I had twins.
Twins, wow.
You just knocked it all out at once.
I'm an overachiever.
And that's why we appreciate you, because even in the real estate game, right, I feel like you go beyond, right, with like your clients, the information that you provide, making sure people stay on track to be successful with their homes and everything, even the programs that you create for people. Like, I know one of the last programs we saw you do is the Ultimate
Homebuyers Bootcamp.
Ultimate Homebuyers Bootcamp.
Yeah.
Like, what made you think of something like that for the community?
So typically, as real estate professionals, we'll do something like a homebuyer seminar, and that's about maybe 2 hours of just information, and it usually will go over the process of purchasing a home, what those steps look like, what the minimum credit scores and things like that are. But I wanted to kind of go a step further, because I'm like, the information that I have and the information that I think people need, it takes longer than 2 hours for them to receive it. And so I decided to do the Ultimate Homebuyers Bootcamp, and a few things went into that decision. I wanted to do a Zoom, because I'm like, everyone can't necessarily be available to go somewhere. And I think with now COVID and the way things that have kind of transpired with COVID, people have gotten used to being able to show up somewhere instantly, right?
Yeah.
So Zoom kind of helps with that. Also, it gives me the opportunity to record the classes, so then anyone who wasn't able to attend at all could still get the playback.
Yeah. They can have like, do you break it up into like certain segments or chapters?
So there were 5 different courses. I wanted to do it in May because there were 5 Wednesdays in May. So we did it every Wednesday, I think from 6 to 7 or 6 to 7:30. And so each course pretty much breaks down. And I had a professional come on each class to kind of give more of an insight on the topic that we were talking about. So the very first one was budgeting and credit. So I know that's your expertise. And I had DMI financials come on.
So let's take it one by one. Okay. So you said the first one was budgeting, right? What were some of like the big key takeaways with, your budgeting when you're going to purchase a home? Like, where were some of the meat and potatoes of that conversation?
The first one is just, a lot of people don't have a budget. You have no idea where you're spending your money, where your money goes. You haven't been tracking it. You just don't know. And so, of course, mindset goes into everything that we do. But you got to start there. You have to know how much money you're bringing in. And it's kind of like your debt to income ratio for yourself, right? How much money you're bringing in, how much debt or how much money you're actually spending in a month. The best way I find to do that, and then you may have some tips on that as well, but the best way that I find to do that is I say either take your debit card and use your debit card for every purchase for 3 months, right? And then you print out those bank statements, get different highlighters, and start highlighting the items that are necessities for you. So your rent, your car note, your car insurance, and things like that you absolutely have to pay to stay afloat. And then we go into lifestyle. What are some things that you like to do? If you like to eat out, it's some other stuff on there that I ain't gonna talk about. But
man, this is the anything can happen show. We got to talk about.
Okay, so we're in the Bay Area, right? We know that a lot of people smoke weed, right? So if you smoke weed, then that should be a line item in your budget. And if you
because you're spending a couple $100 a month,
right? So then when people ask where your money go, you have an answer for that, right? But if you have a line item of $500 a month for your weed budget and you spend that all in the first week, guess what? You don't get no more weed till next month. Right. Okay. So it's really about you have to be very intentional with what it is that you're trying to accomplish when you're creating your budget. And then you'll also start to see some of the things that you're wasting your money on. I don't know if anybody still has magazine subscriptions. I hope that they don't. But if you have a magazine subscription,
but they have a Disney Plus subscription.
The streaming has gotten out of control.
And HBO Plus and all that kind of stuff.
Why? You're not watching that much TV. It's not that many times. That many hours.
But I might be on my lunch break and I want to catch the new episode.
Okay, so then pick one.
Okay.
If Netflix gives you a lot of what you like, then go to Netflix. But for you to have I can't even lie, because on my phone right now I have HBO Max and I have Stars because
personally I wouldn't harp too much on the streaming because as somebody who I don't pay for them all, but I have pretty much every single one.
But do you also have cable at home?
I do not. Okay. I did. I had in 2021 I had 3 different music streaming services, 5 different video streaming services, and cable.
Exactly. And that cable bill was running you like $150 instantly by itself.
No, the cable was just $50. Okay. But the streaming is usually, I do budgets all the time in my experience. That is something that eats people up. But the number one thing I find, you nailed it in the beginning, that cannabis budget. That cannabis budget is huge. But most importantly, I classify it the entertainment budget.
Yes.
Are you which is going out to eat fast food, not cooking at home? Are you going to the movies? Are you going out to the club, the bar? Or when you're at the bar, are you buying 5 drinks?
Yes.
Compared to 1 drink or 0 drinks, just water. So I put it all, and I would throw streaming in there too, in the entertainment budget. And what you said about budgeting, you're spot on. Take the 90 days. Doesn't matter if it's credit, debit, anything where your money's going out.
Yes.
And what I would say is anything that is a recurring expense, meaning it's constantly happening either month to month, every other month, or quarterly, that is a line item. And then you just write it all out. And generally, I have never, in my time doing budgets, probably same with you, I've never done a budget where I can't look at a line item and go, is that a want or is that a need?
Yes.
And that's what we do. We label all the line items once they're out as a want. And
so once we have it down as a want and a need, like the things that I want, do we cross it off so I can save money so I have more to put down on a home? Is that the ultimate goal, or like what are we?
I would say, what is it that you really want? Do you want to smoke weed or do you want to buy a new house?
I want my house.
Exactly. So then at that point, for me, the conversation goes into what are you willing to sacrifice?
Okay.
What are you willing to sacrifice? I stopped getting y'all know how I like my stiletto nails. Maybe y'all don't, but I stopped getting my nails done probably right after I had the babies. First point was, I thought I was gonna stab them. But I then realized how much money I was actually spending at the nail shop. Yeah. And it kind of got ridiculous. So I had a girlfriend who was doing like the press-ons and stuff. And so I was like, okay, can you show me how to do it? And it's a sacrifice for me because I love my nails to be done consistently. I don't want to have to do them myself. And I can't always find the designs that I want. So it's a sacrifice for me, but it's something that I'm willing to do because me purchasing a home for my girls is like number one.
So as you're doing all these line items and you're distinguishing your wants from your needs, right? Now that those wants, we're looking at, okay, now as I'm saving up all my wants, it's an extra maybe like $1,500 to $2,000 that, that I can put away, right? Am I using that for a deposit, or what are we using that for when we're going through the home buyers process?
Okay, so then that goes into the second class of the home buyers bootcamp, which is all things credit. The perfect loan for you. And so at that point, once we establish what your budget is and how much you can afford, because affordability is key. Yeah. I don't want to overextend you. I don't want you to go into a purchase that you cannot maintain. Yeah. And so kind of understanding that is the first thing.
I was gonna say, isn't it kind of complicated? Because not complicated, but I want the 5-bedroom house with the pool and the island in the middle of the kitchen, and I want to throw parties and all this stuff.
And I don't want to dim your light.
That's what I'm saying.
But you got a 1.5, 2 million.
Yeah, in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So how do you bring it back once people like, this is what I want, X, Y, and Z, and you're like, maybe not in the Bay Area, but maybe if you're looking to go towards Stockton, Elk Grove, Sacramento, maybe, like, how do you have those conversations with people to make things more realistic if they're going to stay in the Bay Area and what they're going to find?
For me, I do a few different things because I understand people learn differently, right? And so I have to touch point on all of those. So sometimes just having a conversation with someone is not going to get them to see and or understand what the market looks like. Yeah. Because you basically have to kind of fine tune your wants for this property based on what you can afford and what the market kind of looks like. So I show them properties. Yeah. You want to move to Oakland and you want a 3-bedroom. And so I literally just do a broad search on my computer and
pull up all the 3 beds.
And I let them see the photos, and I let them see the houses, and I let them see the price points. Yeah. It's not me telling you can't have what you want. Yeah. You can. We can plan for it and we can work on it together. We can devise a plan, and I'll make sure that I keep you accountable. Yeah. I'll send you affirmations every Monday if you need a little bit of a push. Yeah. I'll continue I'll give you the tips and the tricks that you get the kids on board. Let them know we're trying to buy a house. So that PlayStation on hold, baby. Okay. Christmas, Santa Claus ain't coming.
All those extra video games.
Yes. Santa Claus ain't coming this year. But we work together on seeing what it is that you need, and then also maybe fine tuning those criteria to get you what you want. Okay. If ultimately you want to get into a 3-bedroom in this particular city, but you see that currently, based on your income and the market, you just can't afford that. Yeah. So then a few things can happen. We can have a conversation about breaking into real estate via condo. And a lot of people don't like that conversation. They're already maybe living in an apartment. They feel like a condo is more like a glorified apartment. They don't see the value in it. But right now you're paying $2,500 a month for your apartment, say, right? You'll probably pay maybe $3,000 a month for your condo. Yeah. Yes, you're going to be paying in a little bit more, but you're building equity. Okay. Right now, can you go to your landlord for your apartment and say, hey, I need $500 to pay this hospital bill? Yeah. Or I'm trying to start a business and I need to pull out some money from the rent fund that I've been giving you. That's not going to happen. But with you creating a legacy, first of all, by purchasing this property, building the equity up into it, you can then take that equity in a few years and move into that dream home in that dream neighborhood that you are talking about.
So going that route, so say realistically in that particular scenario, I'm more likely to purchase a condo at this time, right? And how long would you say I would have to be in that situation before I could make that transition or build enough equity to maybe use it as a rental property, or are we selling that property?
Whatever you want. Okay. It kind of just depends. Every situation is different. So this is what I like to tell my clients too. You cannot go and look at someone else's situation on how they did it and think that that's going to necessarily be a blueprint for you. Yeah, right. Their income is different. Their credit is different. Their financial situation as far as what they can save, how many kids they have, who are they responsible to, the commute to work.
So many variables.
So many other variables go into it, whether or not they can actually go stay with an in-law or a parent to save money. So you cannot look at someone else's situation and think that's going to be you. we have a comprehensive conversation about what your goals are long term for real estate, so that we can build a plan and start the right way. But to answer the question, it really kind of goes into what type of loan you choose as well. If you do FHA, you're required to stay in that property at least 3 years.
Okay.
If you want to then rent it out and then purchase something else, because you have to live out the life of the loan and the parameters that they set for you.
And how much, like, just on like a guesstimate or how much buying power does that give you towards your next property? Or is it like because now your what's that, income to debt ratio is higher, isn't it? If you have one property and now you're looking to purchase another.
Yeah, but if you're going to be renting, they take that into account, and so they look at what what the current rents are going for that area, and then they can add that into your income.
Yeah, maybe earlier this year, and I wish I was in the right place to purchase this place. It was a place in Rodeo, right, not too far from where I stay, but it was how they had this house built out. It was like the upstairs was like 4 bedrooms. It had its own kitchen. I think it had 2 bathrooms upstairs. Then it had a separate entrance to like a downstairs 1-bedroom apartment, which they had like separate. And then they turned the garage into like a studio apartment. So technically it was like 3 spaces that you could rent out at this location. And I'm looking like, that is dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could get some good money from that one property.
So then you should have called me, so we could have looked it up, and then even looked at the tax records to see how that property is actually being zoned. Because if it's considered a single family, you said they kind of integrated the garage into a studio.
Yeah.
Well, you got to find out whether or not that's permitted, because if it's not, then you can't use that. They're not going to use it as income because it's not set up to be that.
So you're saying I couldn't rent that out?
You could, but when it comes to the loan and the paperwork process of you trying to use that income potentially that you'll get.
So with the loan, would it look better on paper if it said it was a multifamily unit versus a single family?
Yeah.
Okay. So if it was already as a single family unit, would I be able to transition it to a multifamily because of how it's set up?
So you would have to check the zoning in that area.
Okay.
So like, prime example, if you, and I think I see this a lot in Oakland as well. If you go to a street and you see what looks like maybe a duplex, and there's maybe an apartment complex, and then like right across the street, there's like what looks like maybe could be like a multi-use building. And then like a single family home. And it's like, it just looks like a cluster of stuff. You may want to check the zoning for that area, because that might be potentially an investor's dream. You could then take that single family, and depending on the lot size, go ahead and convert it to a multifamily and things like that. So it really kind of just got to get into the logistics and paperwork of it all. But everything is possible. You just got to know who to call.
And I always, you always see these people on like Instagram and social media always talking about getting multifamilies, and all that.
And you can do it for $500,000.
Not in the Bay Area.
So like, when you come across people that get all hyped up because they saw their favorite Instagrammer telling them these tricks and tips and stuff like that, like, how do you approach those conversations as well? Like, bring into more of a reality.
Yeah, because I don't want to bust any bubbles, but it's not necessarily happening the way that they're describing here in California. A lot of times they're doing those projects in places like Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
Or Springfield. That's not necessarily going to be the blueprint for purchasing in California. You have to have some capital. Let's be honest. You can't go into this game with you're not purchasing $120,000 property and it's going to be a 4-bedroom like this in Texas. It's just not. And so you kind of have to know the market that you're shopping in.
So it's a different game in California.
It's a different game.
Also, those videos, as someone who makes those videos, Instagram video is not going to give me enough time. Even if I wanted to, even if I straight up wanted to just break it down, it is not enough time to break down the steps required in the situational things that are happening, the type of loan that's happening. Like it's been said right now, everybody's situation, and that's a key thing you've been saying. Everybody's situation is different. You can even it can be all identical, but the market itself could be different because of the location. Like we can all literally be making $500,000. We want a 5-bedroom, 3-bath. We all want like everything.
Have the same credit score.
Same credit score with the same profile in the background too. Everything, but because Kat, you decided to buy that property in Rodeo when you had the opportunity last year, and then I want to buy the same property right next door, same thing, everything.
Yeah, same setup.
You already know this. His interest rates is probably 2%, 3% lower than if I buy the same house right now because the market has just changed. So every situation is different. And those Instagram videos, they're great to hype you up and motivate you. That's why I put them out there to just encourage you. But a lot of those things are not realistic in the Bay Area, 1. And 2, even if you can do it, the numbers that they're using is just, you have to double them. You have to triple them. So it's just like, yeah, you can do a multi-unit. Are you earning $300,000 a year? Are you earning $400,000 a year? Like that's the number we're realistically looking at.
Now, I actually, I looked up some because this is a conversation that myself and my fiance were having about when we get ready to purchase. And just out of curiosity, I was like, okay, let me see if I can find some that are under $1 million. And I think I was looking in Union City. And then I think there was like a duplex for like 900,000. But you have to look at the conditions of it because then at that point, you're going to have to go in, you're going to have to do some rehab.
Right.
Exactly. Do they already have tenants? Are you planning on, displacing those tenants so that you can do the construction? Or are you going to have the tenants stay? So there's a lot that goes into it, a larger conversation I think that people need to have when going into, the flipping game and or, try to purchase multi-units. It's doable, but you need to have a full conversation about it before you pull any triggers. You need to have everyone in place, even your construction company that you're going to use for your renovations. Who's going to be your handyman? Are you going to do property? Are you going to use a property management company? Like, I think all of those dots and I's need to be kind of crossed before you go into doing something as large as that.
Okay. So that's pretty much the first thing that y'all talked about when it comes to your home buyers boot camp. What was the second thing that y'all talked about?
It was loans.
Oh, it was
so
loans.
Yeah, like, what time, because you were asking, forget the question you were asking.
How long for the FHA. How long stays as FHA? Because let's just quickly go over the loan types.
So you have VA for all our veterans out there, underutilized. So if you are a veteran, please look into your VA status, find out that information. There's so many benefits to being a veteran. So please go and find out what you can get because I feel like it's slept on a lot.
Yeah, I know from my own personal experience. So my dad had a VA loan and I don't think he ever used it. And since he's passed, I think that loan gets transferred to my mom. Mm-hmm. And I was telling my mom, like, hey, let's use this to purchase another home. But I would love to eventually have a conversation where, like, what are all the benefits of using like a VA loan?
Mm-hmm. First of all, 0% down payment.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, people be talking about, I don't have the money for a down payment.
Yeah, okay. You don't need it with the VA loan.
My mom's a veteran. Yeah. So we had to, I'm going to be honest, because she didn't have her paperwork either. I believe something happened with her. Her paperwork was in some type of archive in Louisiana and it got swept away with Katrina. Who knows? But we had to go through a bit of a process to get her, I guess, accreditation is what they call it. Yeah. And so now that she have it, I'm like, okay, so we can either do VA, we can, go ahead and see if there's veteran housing. Not even that, call all your companies that you have deals with and see if they have any discounts for veterans. I feel like it's, like I said, it's very slept on, but people need to start utilizing it more. And then learning more about how to use their VA loan because there's so many benefits there. You also have FHA, which is a government-backed loan. Then you have conventional, which a lot of people, say that it's like the number one. Yeah. And then you also have USDA, which I don't feel like is used a lot here in California, or at least in this area, because it's more so for rural areas. And so unless you're trying to move out to the sticks, it's not really used as well either.
So why would you say more so for like rural areas? Do they give you like better deals and stuff like that?
It's a loan that's designed for like purchasing a property.
Like acres and
you're more so just going to be away from a lot of city living.
Okay.
It's not like you're not in any type of suburban area. I think it'd probably be good for farmers.
Yeah. Okay.
Or if
Hey,
you do
I
want to
might
buy some
Cat Fitness
acreage.
Farm coming to a city near you.
Like even my lender, he doesn't do a lot of USDA.
Mm.
Yeah, it's because there's a certain population requirement. It's this requirements. It's not really, to my experience, realistic to have that loan be done in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
It's not. It's this. Or
As I said, unless
California
you
as a
want
whole.
to move to the sticks.
Yeah.
We're out there.
And
Out
it's
there.
just most of population. We're a very populated state.
Like if you're driving down Highway 5,
Yeah.
somewhere out there.
Yeah, like we're talking like Weeds, California, maybe, or some like crazy thing like out there.
It's a third pillar of the boot
The
camp.
boot camp, I did inspect what you expect. So
Mm.
I had
Speak on
a home inspector come in, because a lot of times we have the home inspectors come in and they give us their report on the home and its standing currently. You know,
Yeah,
what
like
needs
the
to be done.
foundation, the
Exactly.
whole line.
But that's also used as a negotiating tool for real estate agents.
Okay.
And so, you know, at this point, once I get that report, at this point, it's time for us to negotiate some things that my buyer may want, or some
Mhm.
things that, you know, the seller may want. And so you'll even see really good real estate agents when they put their home on the market, if they're selling the property, they're going to have a home inspection already come with that. And so that way you kind of know what you're buying up front.
So it's like the Carfax.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you know the whole breakdown.
Exactly.
If it's been any kind of like, you know, modifications, anything not upstanding with the roof, the foundation,
Mhm.
plumbing. Like, what are some of the key things you would tell people to look out for, like on those kind of reports?
Any foundation issues, because that can be a very large dollar amount as far as the fix.
Yeah.
A roof is also really important. There's about a 30-year lifespan on a roof, and so you got to look at when the property was built, whether or not there were any renovations done since that person moved in. And it kind of will let you know how much longer you got for that roof up there. You know, so that might be a negotiating factor. Right now, I think windows are a big deal as well. You know, people want the right type of windows, weathering.
The gold plain windows to keep the heat
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Save
And
on
so,
energy bills.
again, looking at the property and the timeline that it was built in, you know, you may have to try to negotiate some new windows in your deal.
Yeah.
Or at least the credits to be able to get those things done once you finalize the purchase.
Mm. So that was a great segue, because you said credit. Is there a portion that you help people with their credit if their credit's not in a good place at this current moment? Like,
yeah, but when I say credit for that particular topic, it's more so credits from the seller.
yeah.
And that just means dollars. Like, so say for instance, we're in negotiation and the seller is willing to credit the buyer $5,000 to cover damages for the roof. That just puts in a position to give you the money to do it once you move in, versus me having to do it before I move out.
Yeah. No, that's why I said it's a good segue. but
yes, I do help people with their credit, or at least
Okay.
I direct them. You know, if I can look at your credit report and, you know, give you some tips on some things that you need to do, pay down, you know, try to dispute, then yes, we'll do that. I'm actually doing that with the client now.
So what do you feel like are like common things that you see with people that are wanting to purchase homes, and that they have these common things with the credit issues? Like,
well, I guess I'm gonna throw that to you, or is it that to me? Because he's
we
the credit
both.
guy.
Y'all could.
Okay.
We
Y'all
can
in the-
answer. Would you
So
like to
for me, so you said common things that they need
to kind of fix, or like, you know, common problems with, like, I know I heard a story once where a person was fixing their credit and they had good credit, and then they went to go buy a car immediately.
Oh Jesus, it
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Like stuff like that.
That actually happened to me with a client. We were about to go out. It's a Saturday, and I had like 5 houses ready for us to go see that Sunday. And he calls me and he's like, "Yeah, so I just bought a house." I was like, I bought a car, and I'm like, "Okay, please tell me you bought this off like Craigslist with like mattress money or something."
Yeah.
He's like, "No, like I had to go." And I'm like, "Okay, so look, we're not going to see houses tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're gonna call your lender back and you're gonna tell her what you did." And then, you know, let her rerun your numbers. And at that point, it was just like, okay, cancel appointment.
Yeah.
So don't ever do that. If you know that you are in the process of purchasing a home, do not go buy a car. Do it literally the day after you close, but do not shoot yourself in the foot. So some things that I look at on a credit report, you want to make sure that you don't have any late payments.
Okay.
So those are things that you're going to look
Those
at.
are red flags.
Those are red flags. Because they want to see that you can actually make your payments. So if you can't make a Macy's card payment, or if you can't make a credit card payment,
you're not making that $25 minimum payment on your Macy's card.
Why am I giving you money for a house?
Yeah.
You know, so missed payments are big. So set up auto pay is kind of one of those things that can help you alleviate that problem.
But the thing with with auto pay, at least for me, it feels like as soon as something goes on auto pay, it's like this huge shift in how much they charge me, and then it makes me feel like
they just gonna be charging you astronomical numbers.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, say for example, like
auto pay and completely forget about it.
Yeah.
You can still set an alarm for when the payment's supposed to come out, so you can monitor those things.
Yeah, it's like paying my cable bill, right? You sign up for a great deal for 2 years or something. It's $150, and then after those 2 years, it goes up to $300-$400, and then it's on auto pay, and you're like, oh shoot. You know what I'm saying?
Again, for me, I'm a bit of a stickler. Like literally, as I'm signing my Comcast deal, I'm putting in a reminder, an alarm on my phone for 3-4 days, a week before that due date of when my bill's supposed to go up higher.
Okay, I got
so I mean, we just, we're adults, right? So we have to start adulting. You got to start doing those things that I have an alarm on my phone right now because my Ultimate Home Buyers Bootcamp, it's actually going to go offline, I believe, July 29th. And
so that means they can't get the bootcamp.
They'll still be able to get it, but it might be a little different circumstances.
Okay. So is it free right now?
It's absolutely free.
Oh,
okay, I'm gonna tell y'all this is my business plan for that, right? It's free because the information that I'm getting, first of all, I'm in love with real estate. So in love with it. It's teaching me so much. I'm learning things, and I wish I would have learned them 10, 20 years ago because I would have been able to put my family in better positions now with the information that I'm receiving. But as I'm receiving this information, I'm giving it away for free. And a lot of people don't necessarily deem that as a privilege. Exactly, right?
That's why I started charging. So literally the reason why I started charging $200 an hour, yes, I charge $200 an hour, is because everything you said you do, I did for free. And I actually ran statistics. Out of every 10 people I would help, only 2 of them would actually do it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just wasting time. And then when I started charging, you know what the statistics are? Every person. Because
people see value in the things they pay for.
Exactly.
But so this is again where I struggle because I want to give my people stuff, right? I'm learning all these great things and it's like, I'm so excited about it. Let me give you this information. And a lot of times people don't deem it valuable until they feel like you're successful, until they see you in your mansion or driving your Tesla or, whatever it is, whatever image of you that they have in their mind that, you
success
need to get
looks
to.
Like.
Exactly. Right?
Let me tell you something. Even if they deem you successful, they still won't do it because I could be deemed as quote unquote successful. I'm a 33-year-old who lives rent free in a house that I own. Literally, that's what I say. It's like I'm a 33-year-old disabled man who lives in a house that I own rent free. They still don't do it. Yeah. It's 100% value. It's people. If you nailed it in the beginning, people inherently value things that are more expensive. We all do. It's not just. We all do. So also, too, when you put a price on something, you inherently attract people who are inherently more coachable and are more ready to do the things that they're willing to do. Yeah, because it's just a different set of people. It's why that I generally don't even do credit repair no more because unfortunately a lot of people who do credit repair, it's not even credit repair you're selling mindset. And that's what I tell people. I sell mindset as a financial consultant. I sell mindset. 80% information that I consult, share, you can go get it on YouTube right now. But it's the mindset.
So Darren, let's talk about that mindset after we take this quick music break, okay?
Sure.
All right.
Music break.
You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show, and we're going to take a quick music break, y'all.
Should I keep my live on while we take this break?
If you want.
Okay.
I'm so mad at this tablet. It keeps falling. I think I got it to stay now. Yeah, I was free for my first 6, 9 months.
I really want to give my people something, but I gotta tell you, you're absolutely right. But my thing is too, like when I feel like I've gotten to that point, and even now, like I said, I have a deadline on my home bootcamp. I had 45 people register who got the bootcamp. I don't know whether or not they're actually using it or utilizing it. And then I've had maybe 10 or 20 people have registered after the fact. But I am $1 investment. The information that I'm getting, I have to pay for my class. I have to pay for my education. I'm constantly educating myself. I was actually taking a class on my way over here. Like when I'm in the car, I'm either listening to something motivational or more than likely something real estate or gospel. And the gospel is just to get me in the mindset. If I'm on my way to like a listening appointment, I turn on Megan. I ain't gonna lie. I just listen to hella ratchet ass music because I'll be like this. Like, okay, I'm gonna get this MF appointment.
So what I do is the only reason you should give something away for free is it's gonna directly lead into something that's gonna be a big sell. So my podcast is the free. Get it for me, get it for my $200 an hour services. Go with podcast, almost every question that you're gonna have for me can be answered in a text. And then they themselves can take that advice and they can work their way up to paying me $200 an hour because I'm actually so my clientele is business.
15 seconds. Yeah.
So because they unfortunately they pay
that part.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie. So I don't even know if I should say the things that I really want to say sometimes because I feel like it'll be like kicking myself in the foot.
You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show with Kenya Asa, your man Cat Fitness, and our special guest host today, Darren from Financial State of Minds. We are here once again with the world famous Nia Williams.
Real estate. Every time you say that.
Real estate.
Okay, hype me up. Okay, I'm on my way. Okay. Shoot, y'all don't even know.
Man, you dropping jewels on here for those that are really interested in purchasing their first home. Tricks, tips. You've even created a boot camp. The ultimate
that's
home
free
buyer.
Right now. I mean, literally hop on it. Okay, so let's get into this boot camp though, because those three were like kind of the given, right? Those are like, okay, that's great information when it comes to purchasing your house. The last two, I think, were the ones that I was the most excited about. Insurance, and I know this is not real estate, but if you do it the right way, and if you're planning on being an investor, you can actually leverage insurance to purchasing properties. But that's another conversation. But I feel like a lot of just my people, melanated people, we don't have the proper insurance that we need. Your car's insured, your phone's insured, but your life is not. Why don't we have life insurance?
So how does that work with me purchasing a home? Like, what are the advantages of that?
One of the things that you can do, depending on the type of policy that you get, after you paid into it for so long, you can then you heard of like people creating their own banks?
Yeah.
And so you paid into this policy, so you're able to pull some of the money out to use as a down payment for your property.
Okay. Yeah.
And then at that point, there's no interest rate. You're paying yourself back. You're not competing with what the lenders have out there in the market.
Okay.
You already have your own set interest rates for paying yourself back.
So were these some of the things that you're recommending to people that are looking to purchase their first home, is to make sure they have like these insurance policies available to them so they can start?
No. Because honestly, like I said, it's something you pay into. Yeah. So it's not necessarily recommended for the first time home buyer, but it's information that I just felt like it's information that the minorities of the world need and just have not.
It's the tricks and tips that the financially people that are.
Can I expand on it, because this is something Kat knows I'm passionate about.
See,
let's get it.
So my life, I'm able to live my life because of life insurance. As some of the listeners know, I've lost my entire immediate family. That's how I got my house. So, and I also got a 5-figure life insurance policy given to me when my father, which is the last of my family members, passed away. That allowed me to invest in my business and live the first year of my business completely paid for by my father because of life insurance. Life insurance is statistically the number one way that generations start generational wealth.
Mm. So
I
it was
have
a game changer.
right, and I have and shout out to Quessy. I bought my life insurance from him. I pay $70 for a $750,000 policy.
That's what's up.
So
You
that
hear that, people? $70
a month.
Yeah. So
Right.
say for example, in the scenario that we were talking about with Nia, right?
Mhm.
If you are ready to buy a multi-unit house, right? When you needed a loan, how far out do you have to, like, I guess the real question is how long until you're able to borrow from that policy that you currently have?
It depends.
So yeah,
it depends on the policy.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it depends on the policy.
So kind of like credit,
Yeah.
and then purchasing a home and everybody's profile being different. It's the same thing with life insurance. It's the type of policies that you can purchase. My grandmother actually just pretty much cashed out her policy because she bought a term policy back when she was 30.
Okay.
She's now 83.
Mm.
Term policies are only for 30 years.
Yeah.
It's
outlived it.
She outlived it.
Uh-huh.
And I think one thing that I learned, and again, this is why I said I wish I would have learned this information 10, 20 years ago, because I would have been able to help my family and put them in better positions.
Yeah.
She didn't have a comprehensive conversation about life expectancy.
Yeah.
Most of the people in my life, in my family, are still living. Yeah. My great grandmother lived to 108. My grandmother's 83. Her sister just passed away 2 or 3 days before her 93rd birthday. Mm-hmm. There's longevity there. Yeah. I'm planning on living till like 110. So I need a whole life policy plus a little universal add-on. Yeah. Because, so once you hit 100
more years.
Yeah, once you hit 100, that can fizzle off too. So I'm thinking about, and then kind of pulling it back into real estate. Once you purchase that house, if you die, how are your kids going to pay for it? Who? And then it goes into
if it's not paid off already.
If it's not paid off already, right? Yeah. And then it also goes into the last course of the Ultimate Bootcamp, which is trust. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We had a full conversation with a trust attorney who pretty much told us how to put your homes in trust, how to put your assets in trust, the different tips and tricks. And then I asked the question because I know generational wealth is this very trending topic right now. Everybody's talking about it, but honestly, just purchasing your house doesn't solidify you having generational wealth, right? So I asked, okay, so the Rockefellers of the world, right? The first families or whatever they want to consider themselves. How are they able to continue to keep the wealth in their family generation after generation? Mm-hmm. And so I asked them, I was like, can I gift property and or money to grandchildren and great grandchildren that I don't have and may not even exist right now? Yeah. And he was giving me the information on that. So you got to tune into the Ultimate Buyers Bootcamp to find out how to.
It was pretty dope because, well, not pretty dope, but when my dad transitioned, right, I found out that he had a trust, right? And how it was set up initially, because I was so young when they initially set up the trust, it went to my mom, and then my uncle was also like an overseer of the trust because I was too young at the time, because I was only maybe 8 or 9 when they created the trust. Mm-hmm. But after he transitioned, we had to go back and meet with the lawyer and get it all redone, because then it goes to my mom, obviously, and then I'm the next overseer. And then we had to take my uncle off of there because he could be, but it's no need for him because I'm old enough now to oversee all the financial responsibilities of everything that goes into the trust. So it's one of those things, even if you have little ones, you can have somebody oversee it for the little ones until they get of age. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So people that are thinking I could wait until later. Well, what if there's not a later? You know what I'm saying? Like, put these things into place right now and have somebody that you can trust that can help the kids as they get of age if something does happen to you, so the house doesn't get gets sold and all the other assets that you might have get sold, like make sure that it's longevity for you and your family moving forward.
Yeah, because the life insurance can help you pay for the property now. So now your kids are living rent free.
Exactly. They still got a roof over
and then
their
they
head.
have that trust to protect their assets. And my trust attorney, he's actually waiving his consultation fee. So if anybody does want to sign up or want to at least have that consultation with him, that's a $750 fee that he's waiving for anyone who comes.
Go ahead and give him a quick shout out. How do they get in contact with that gentleman?
Through me. So give me a call, 510-779-8298.
Or what about your like social media?
My Instagram is nia_Williams_realtor. I believe my Facebook is the same. And the best email to contact me is going to be nia.williams@kw.com.
So what made you choose? It sounded like those were like the 5 pillars of your real estate boot camp, or were there 4?
Well, the first one is credit and budget. Like I said, people just don't even know where their money's going. And that's the first thing. Like, I can't help you buy a house if you don't know where your money at.
Exactly.
The second one is loans. There's so many misconceptions about, I need 20% to buy a house. You can buy a house with an FHA 3.5% down. One of my last clients purchased her home conventional 3% down. So you don't know what you can do until you actually start doing it. Give me a call. Let's actually pull the trigger. Everybody is so afraid, I think, and fear drives a lot of the decision making.
Because I think they think about when they deal with a real estate person that they're going to be pressured to buy or do something.
Obligation.
I'm saying mindset.
Yeah.
We were talking about mindset before we went to the music break, and I think the mindset is like, oh, if I go into this,
I gotta be ready.
Yeah, exactly.
I get that number one thing. People will call me. They'll reach out and say, "Oh yeah, I was thinking about buying a house," and I'm like, "Okay, perfect. I'm so glad that you reached out. Let's have the conversation if you're up for it. How much do you already have saved? What's your credit score? Do you even know this information?"
Yeah.
And again, I think it's fear and the fact they don't want to look like they are not prepared and not ready.
Mm-hmm.
You come to me to get prepared and ready. Mm-hmm. If you get ready to run a marathon, you need to train first.
Yeah.
And that's the part where I'm like a coach too, right? Yeah. I have to help you get ready. Because
what are you getting ready for? How do I get prepared for something if I don't know what to get prepared for?
Yes. You don't even know what the criteria is that you need to help on.
Uh-huh.
Do you know your credit score? Okay, let's go ahead and pull your credit report. freecreditreport.com.
Like, what would you say, for example, for those that are interested in purchasing their first home, what's like the bare minimum credit score that they may need to get approved?
You can do it with a 580. Yeah. I've heard that. I don't recommend that. I'm gonna just tell you straight up, I don't. There's some things that we can do to get your credit. Like if you have to move with a 580 credit score, my question is why you can't wait like a few months, at least a few. Like let's get that up, right? Because your interest rates and things like that, the gifts that keep on giving can open up a little bit more once you increase that score. And it doesn't take a lot. I'm gonna be honest, very transparent. When I first started real estate, my credit score was like a 582, if that, right? Yeah. Within 1 year, I raised my credit score to a 763.
Yeah.
And so it's doable, right? Again, it's about those steps and how you say it's really mindset. Like it's you have to be willing to do those things. You got to be willing to look at where your money's going. Yeah. You got to be willing to sacrifice something. You got to be willing to say, no, I'm not going out. I can't afford that vacation, or,
it's not time.
The birthday parties ain't happening right now. Yeah. But a lot of people will come to me and say, oh, they want to purchase a home. And then when it comes to actually having the conversation of what your profile looks like, they shy away from it, or they'll say the number one thing to me is, oh, I was just, I'm going to get ready first and then I'm going to call you.
I mean, as a trainer, I go through the exact same things. It's like the people that want to get in shape, but don't want to stop eating the cake and the cookies and, but they want to have that summer body. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, you say you want one thing, but when it comes down to it,
you don't really want it that bad.
Exactly.
Right. It's not life or death for you. It's not. Is not.
It's funny that I'll bring this up. What you say is like sometimes I want to say stuff, but I don't know. I can't go over people. I don't care. I don't care because I'm when you
gotta be brutally honest.
Brutally, because I know most people aren't. So I will tell the person straight up, you want this goal, you cannot. There is no such thing. It doesn't matter if it's in health, mental health, emotional health, financial health, spiritual health. there's no such thing as gaining something without sacrificing or losing something first.
Yeah.
You have to. It's just, there's no way around it. I can give you all the tricks in the world, to open up doors, opportunities, and make things a little easier. But you have to sacrifice something.
Well, I think sacrifice is such a hard word. It's just like emptying your cup. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're at the point where you want something different, but you're not willing to make a change, you're not willing to empty your cup to start brand new. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to necessarily sacrifice, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say, I agree with what you're saying. I like sacrifice because, and I'll tell you why. Who here wants to go to work 8 hours a day?
Who wants to go to work?
Who wants to go to work 8 hours a day at a job they don't like?
I think a lot of people are programmed to think they have to go to work 8 hours a day to survive, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. So
to make it in life.
Going back to mindset. So we are okay with sacrificing 1/3 of our waking hours. Sorry, half of our waking hours, 1/3 of our total hours a day to go to work.
Yeah.
To pay for a place you don't own.
Exactly.
Because 50% of your bill, 50% of your income, most likely is just going to your rent.
Uh-huh.
So we're willing to do that, but we're not willing to sacrifice or do something we don't want to necessarily do.
And it's not forever. It's
right.
Like,
and I'm about to say, it's
like,
not forever.
Again,
yep,
looking at your profile, you might only need to sacrifice for 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You might need to sacrifice for 6 months.
Uh-huh.
You might not need to sacrifice at all. But guess what? You too scared to pull the trigger to even see if you qualify.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, I think sometimes using certain verbiage scares people. Right?
They're scary.
I have to sacrifice.
I guess for me, it's a difference as a paid consultant. I use this verbiage to literally get the right people, because it's mutual, right, Kat?
Yeah.
Like, you understand this as a fitness trainer.
Yeah.
You understand this as a realtor.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody
is mine.
Right. Every client is yours in the sense of it is meant for you. The powers that mean sent them your way because there's this mutual understanding that
I said
fit.
not every client.
Oh, I thought you said I think you said it.
Yes. I'm not working with everybody.
Exactly. I don't work
everybody.
with everybody. So if they because I know there's other financial savvy people who can help. Absolutely. I'm not the real estate master. I know a lot because most people who want to get financially savvy, and they want to buy a home. That's usually what it is.
So let me put it to you like this.
Yeah.
So when I first started in my training business, I would use the word diet, right? And when people hear the word diet, oh my God, I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, but once I start changing my verbiage, it's like, hey, let's make some lifestyle changes, right? Mm. For whatever reason, I could be giving the exact same information, making the exact same suggestions, and saying lifestyle versus diet, and the person was more
it's
open.
more digestible.
It's more digestible.
Exactly.
Yes.
I hear
At
you
the end of the day. And that's all I'm saying when you say
I hear you on that.
Make a sacrifice. Oh my God. It's like making it like having to go on a diet. Like, oh my God. If we're able to give the same information, but make it more digestible for the average person to start down that path, I just sugarcoat it sometimes, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
No, and I do sometimes, and then it gets to a point where it's like, look, the kid gloves are off.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah, because if I'm giving you the information and you're just not applying it,
that's a whole different conversation.
Why am I continuing to sugarcoat anything? At this point, let's be honest. I don't get paid till you buy a property.
Yeah.
So if I'm spending 30,000 hours driving you around, negotiating deals, looking at property. Ooh, that's so cute. Ooh, I like these windows. Ooh, you see the front door.
Yeah.
That's not helping me.
Yeah.
I want to help you get the property.
Help me, help you.
Help me, help you. Right? This is quid pro quo.
Yeah.
But I, and this is why I say not every client is mine, because when I first got into the game, I used to think that, like, I'm going to help everybody buy a house.
Yeah.
That's not doable.
Yeah.
So now,
drive yourself crazy.
Yes, so I had to really sit down and ask myself, like, who is my ideal client? And I think a lot of times,
target market.
Exactly, and people don't do that. They still go into it thinking like, I'm going to sell my product to everybody.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Mm-hmm. So right now, I am in the process of targeting healthcare workers. So you are a healthcare professional, and you are interested in purchasing a home, please let me know. There are grants out there that we can, get into. I got my last client $20,000 in free grant money that she do not have to pay back. Just being a healthcare worker, first responders is what I'll say. Firefighters, y'all grouped in there too. Any firemen out there, call me. Right? But every client isn't mine. The person who I can lead to water but does not want to drink any of the tea that I'm giving them, I can't help them.
So I know you have an event coming up in October. Can you tell us a little bit about that before we get out of here? Or do you have any other events coming up prior to that? That's the only one I've.
This is the one you need to be at, okay?
This is the one
you
need to be at.
I am a part of Women's Council of Realtors for Contra Costa. Shout out to them. And I am their fashion show chair. So I am putting on a fashion show inside of Macy's, Walnut Creek Broadway Plaza.
But this is not the first one.
This is not the first one. It's an annual thing. It's a fundraising fashion show. But the lineup is ridiculous. So what I used to get was a lot of people telling me that back in the day, the fashion show was like everything. It was the one event that everybody wants to be at. So now I'm telling you again, it's the one event that everybody needs to be at, right? So the fashion show is October 29th from 6 to 9 p.m. inside of Macy's. We have 3 charities that we're going to be raising money for. Cinnamon Girls, Rainbow Community Center in Concord. And also, I just got a call from the Special Olympics. So they will be a part of this event as well. There's going to be a red carpet. This is a gala. So I'm suggesting y'all dress to impress, dress up. I will be in something very snazzy. It's going to be a red carpet. I am going to have photographers. We're going to be going live. There's going to be a fashion show. I have a violinist. There's a DJ. Shay Diddy from KBL is going to be our MC. There's a VIP suite. It's everything, right? And I'm working on a few celebrities. I don't want to use them to...
Like Cat Fitness?
Yes, Cat Fitness. Yes, absolutely. But this is an event that you definitely want to be at. Tickets will go on sale on Eventbrite on August 7th at 10 a.m. So please snatch up your tickets. Women Council of Realtors, Contra Costa. This is the WCRCC fundraising fashion gala and exclusive shopping experience. We are also going to be getting friends and family discount from Macy's. So anyone who wants to purchase during that time frame. And the one thing that I'm working on that I think is going to just bring it all home is trying to get discounts from every store in the Broadway Plaza in Walnut Creek for the shopping holiday.
Ooh. And what date is that? Can you
October 29th from 6 to 9 p.m. You got to be there. You got to come.
So can you please you've given so many jewels today on, the home buyers boot camp. What are some places that if people are interested in starting to get more information or talk to you directly, do you have a website, social media, phone number, email? Where can they reach you?
So my website is Nia Williams is my favorite realtor.kw.com. Email is nia.williams@kw.com. Social media tags are Nia Williams _realtor. My phone number is 510-779-8298. Give me a call. I answer all the time. Let's have a conversation. Let's run your information. Let's run your credit. Let's see if you qualify, or let's create a game plan.
Serious callers only, y'all, because she is married.
Yes, please. Because I will roast you too. Don't play. But a lot of people just pull the trigger on yourself, right? Bet on yourself. You're paying rent. We live in California in the Bay Area. It's one of the most expensive markets. You're already paying somebody's mortgage. Why not pay your own?
Man, I think we have to leave them on that note today. All right. Well, thank you once again to the world famous Nia Williams, real estate extraordinaire, coming in the building once again. We got to get you coming in at least once every other month.
I'm cool with that. Let's do it. Let's do an updated market report.
Yeah.
Right now, interest rates are 6-7%. Buy the house anyway. You've heard them say, buy the house, date the interest rate. They're gonna go down.
Right. Yeah.
They're gonna go down. Let's think back in the 80s, the interest rates was 16-17%.
Yeah.
Y'all slipped on COVID. Right before COVID, they was 2-3%. They're a little up right now. They're going to go down.
Come on, give them some
refinance.
See, we got to get you, like you said, every quarter. Come in here and give us
we can talk online.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Anything Can Happen show. You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland, and streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, tune in every Thursday at noon at ach.show so you can join the conversation, and we'll see you next time, y'all. Peace. Another great episode, y'all.
Of course.
Y'all know I don't go live very often.
Boom. Share. Okay. Share. I'm going to add the info in a second. So, once again, another amazing episode. A lot of great footage. Before we let you go, Miss Nia Williams, extraordinaire, we just need a drop.
Okay. What is that?
So, just like you did last time, it's like, hey, this is Nia Williams. I don't know if you have a tagline or.
Hey, now say now. So say girl Nia Williams. No.
Yeah, exactly. And then just let them know what we talked about today. Today we talked about the Ultimate Homebuyers Bootcamp. And, well, we could write it down for you. Write it down real quick on your phone. It's real simple. Hey, this is Nia Williams. And then your tagline.
Hey, now say now. So real estate with your girl Nia Williams. Real estate with purpose.
Today you're tuned into the Anything Can Happen show. And we're talking about the Ultimate Homebuyers Bootcamp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Hold on. I'm gonna
do I get more than one take?
Yeah.
I can do it on the first one though.
Yeah, I know you can. Hold on. Let me record so I can tag and do all that kind of stuff.
You said today we're live at the Anything Can Happen show? Or
you don't have to say today I'm on the Anything Can Happen show. All right, we're gonna count you down. In 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, this is Nia Williams. Hey now, say now. It's the real estate. Nia Williams, girl, real estate with purpose, and we are live with the Anything Can Happen show today. One more time. One more time.
No worries.
You said don't say live. Okay.
Yeah. Just say today we're on the Anything Can Happen show, and we're talking about the Ultimate Homebuyers Bootcamp.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Hey now, say now. It's the real estate with your girl Nia Williams, real estate with purpose, and we're on the in. Oh Lord Jesus!
Get a drink of water. Get a drink of water. Mouth is kind of dry.
It is too though.
55 minutes of giving game. She's back.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Hey now, say now. It's the real estate with your girl Nia Williams, real estate with purpose, and we're on the Anything Can Happen show today, discussing the Ultimate Homebuyers Bootcamp. Don't miss it.
Boom. Boom.
There you go. Third time's a charm.
Yeah. That's why she had twins.
Ooh, and that was not playing. That was like
ACH. Man, there was no air in here today.
I'm telling you, you did. I'm trying not to have it interfere.
Oh, the air?
Yeah.
I was like, sheesh.
you said it was episode 81.
79.
No, it's 81. It's 81, Darren.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I corrected.
No, she had the whiteboard.
Whiteboard. So, oh, sorry. It's 81. It's 81. First I said it was 80. It's 81.
You gotta let me know where your podcast is. I would love to tune in.
Oh, it's everywhere. Spotify, Apple.
What's the name of it?
Financial State of Minds.
KGPC 96.9 FM.
There too.
www.kgbc969.org/. Financial states of mind.
That too. I'm also on Instagram as Financial State of Mind, so I'll follow you. Don't worry, because we got tagged. And yeah. So I'm actually a business consultant.
Mhm.
I'm a business consultant that specializes in teaching small business owners about finances as a whole.
I'm gonna have to
But
start
I-
sending some clients your way.
But really, I basically help small business owners find funding. It's basically what I do. So I primarily do that by leveraging, having them leverage their credit.
Mhm.
So they don't have to depend on anybody else. But yes, I can also help them out with business loans, grants, and investor money.
Mm.
So that's what I do. But I am a business consultant, so I can help with everything: marketing, HR, operations. I'm starting to get into and specialize in AI, how AI can help your business.
Okay. Because
scale
I
up.
use what is it, Chat GPT?
GPT, I use ChatGPT. I use video AI. I use Read AI. I will be investing in a couple others soon. AI is going to be the reason why we can compete with big companies. Straight up, like that's so. I want to specialize in, or I am specializing in AI and how an independent business owner in any space could use them, and they could have a full everything: marketing campaigns, ads, a website, PowerPoint. Your Zoom calls have summaries. You are editing your videos and making clips for YouTube, for Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
Those clips are crazy how he does it like that.
Yeah.
Just put in like 15 minutes of 15 minutes of whatever you're talking about and how it breaks it into clips and everything.
Yeah,
already for
and that's what I do. You know.
that stuff is
Yeah.
put this all up before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Ah.
What I was gonna say is, if you wanted to come on my show, wanting to interview you, that's a different space to have the same thing. But also, if you wanted to have like come in once a month or once whenever time on my show and do some type of real estate breakdown, market breakdown, you're more than welcome to do that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, because a lot of people, again, it's mindset, and I think like so when I was talking about like not every client is for me.
Yeah.
When I first got into it, it's like I wanted to help black people.
Right,
I wanna
that's
help
how I
us.
was
I want to
too.
help us.
That's how I was too.
Some of us don't want to be helped,
So,
and it's just like, okay, I love y'all, but y'all are not helping me create an actual sustainable business because the information that I'm giving, you don't find the value in it.